persons, that man grows with him. He gives a possibility for the others to decide, for the others to be responsible, for the others to be conscious. I invite him to share ear witness with you, Father Marinko Testimony, and I invite him to give you his testimony.
Dragi mladi,
Dear young people,
neki dan pričamo.
The other day we were speaking. There was one person who needed to come and speak from Austria, and he cancelled. He was not able to come. So what are we going to do? Whom are we going to come? And this team here, Father Stanko, Lydia, we were thinking, okay, whom shall we invite? And then they say, okay, I think you should be speaking. So when something else happens, when the emptiness happens, I will say, okay, come, you take the floor. So dear friends, Father Antu spoke recently how we are supposed to come to Jesus. Whatever problems we have, we always need to come to Jesus. He calls you, he says to you, come to me. If you have a problem, if you have a trouble, come to me. And you will see how problem will be resolved. Imagine if you stood at the end, that's it. And you need to decide, you need to bring important decision in your life, and you don't understand that. Is this the right way? Is this not the right way? Is this for you? Is this not for you? It is a great suffering. Have you ever had such difficulties? Have you ever had such problems? You are before a decision and you do not know whether that is right. So dear friends, I had such difficulty. And that was at the end of the study of theology. That was in Fulda, in Germany. I needed to bring decision. I need to be ordained to become a deacon. And I don't understand. Is that for me? Is that my journey? That is a real suffering. And that in Fulda? But Slavko Barbaric called me. Imagine a shock for me. He called me, not on a mobile phone. At that time we did not have mobile phones. But on the phone, he called me. Father Slavko called me. And I knew Father Slavko here in Medjugorje because I was born here, 5 kilometers away from here. I knew him, but I did not know him. Can that happen to you? Do you have those situations that you know person and later on you discover that you actually did not know him? Only later on you began to know them. I did not know Father Slavko. Those were the encounters, but they were very, very, very rough. I do not know whether we ever shook hands. We never spoke. We never entered relationship. And then he called me, how are you? He knew about my crisis, the situation where I was. That's why he called me. How are you? What is happening? And I'm longing for a solution. I'm weeping for help. I'm seeking for something. I can say something. I want to say something to him, but I can't open. I cannot be opened. And what is interesting, I thought about that. Father Slavko did not say anything to me. He did not say to me, okay, let this go. It will be good, as the other priests were saying.
imali
we had that.
se to. Šta?
That will be a result. He did not do that.
Malo slušao što sam ja.
He asked, he was listening to what I was saying. It was not related to what I was saying to him. That's it. He greeted me and that's it. I conclude that he did not want to force anything. He did not want to offer solutions, quick solutions, cheap solutions. But he gave me to grow myself.
Mene.
He cannot finish the process instead of me. I can finish it. I need to finish it myself. Let's see the man who was looking at his neighbor. Oh, look at my neighbor. His wheat is growing and mine is not. But then it vanished. Not even the bug. He was not able to do that. He's not able to do that. He cannot do that quickly. That Father Slavko knew that. He knew that because he knew man's soul. He did not want to force everything. That is a very important acknowledgement for me when I look at others. Let men go. He called me. He called me and he said to me, I'm thinking about you. I'm with you. But you need to finish the process. That was during the Lent in 1995. And then I came home. And I already took a year. It was a sabbatical year. When I was deciding, I postponed my ordination. I continued studying. I found a job. And I was looking for a solution. In a more intensive way. In a deeper way. And then, when I came here during the Lent, there was a friend. He did not want to say the name. So I'm not going to say his name. When I was in the among my friends and I was sharing the problem with them, and he said to me, go to Father Slavko. Go to Father Slavko. These words were so powerful for me. 2 words. Go to Father Slavko. Just 2 words. And remember the last night, the meditation, there was the complete darkness. I was in that darkness as well. But then those words brought the light in me, in my being. You see how the word can bring the light into someone's life. The word. And then I was able to see and to look at Father Slavko in a different way. Imagine how those words changed the way I looked towards him. First, I never would look up for a solution in him. He even repelled me on some occasions. I was never able to find any communication with him. And now finally this man is saying he directs me to go to him. And I ask myself, whom should I go to? Where shall I find solution? Who is the one who can give me advice? And he said, go to Father Slavko. And I immediately left that morning to Father Slavko. Not to Father Slavko, but in the church in Medjugorje for the evening prayer program. I stood on the right-hand side as you entered the church. I leaned on the confessionals. It was the beginning of the rosary. And then, in the church, who entered? It was Father Slavko. And about 10-15 people, various people, were following him. And they all wanted to confess with him. When he saw me, imagine that, dear friends, what feeling. He knew that I was having difficulties, spiritual difficulties, and I wanted to bring the session to stop. It was not a pleasing situation. How does he look at me? That was the question. How does he look at me? What is that he thought about me? How is he going to respond when he saw me? That was the question that arose in me. And when he saw me, it was a special moment for me. He opened his eyes and he said, "Look away, where are you? How are you?" That was the encounter that I asked, that melted ice in me, that brought peace into my heart, acceptance. I felt that he accepted me. Father Slavko did not ask questions. What is the problem? What did you do? No, he did not do that. He showed joy, that he saw me, that I'm here. And what Father Ante was saying, what does Father Slavko do? Father Slavko does not direct to himself, nor he ever wanted to be the last instance in seeking for someone else's answers and someone else's questions, but he wanted to be a guideline. And he said to me, he looked at me and he said to me, it was short, it was just like a blink of a second. He tapped me on the shoulder, he looked at me and he looked me in the eyes and he said, "Tonight, seminar of fasting and prayer begins in Domus Patsis, in the House of Peace." That was it. He did not say anything else. Okay. He greeted me, entered confessional, people entered after him and he left. Tonight, the seminar of fasting and prayer begins in the House of Peace. That's it. What do you think? Did I go for that retreat? Yes, I did. Father Slavko threw a little bomb. He did not say go. But he said, tonight the seminar of fasting and prayer begins. But he threw a bomb. When is that bomb going to explode? I don't know, but he would share like that. He knew how to say the story. And that story is every other story. That story is working within men. It is working, it is being active. When will that be shown? It depends. In me, that bomb exploded. I went for that retreat of fasting and prayer, my dear friends. That is where I found solution. Not in Father Slavko, but in the seminar of fasting and prayer that lasted for 6-7 days. Throughout those days, in me, everything was becoming clearer. In the end, I said to them at the end of seminar, Father Slavko, I need to say to you, I'm with you. I was healing with you in these days. I noticed that he was happy. He did not say anything. He smiled. And he left. That was solution. The fog was disappeared. The light appeared. It was clear for me where to go. After seminar of fasting and prayer, I knew which was my way. But this is my way, that I'm supposed to take this way. No one said anything to me. Afterwards, I had complete peace within myself. And I said to Father Slavko, imagine how in these days it was so wonderful for me. I read Holy Bible in a different way. I read Gospel in a different way. I understood things in a different way. There was joy in me. I did not know what is this. If I had the experience of fasting and prayer, this experience at the beginning of my theology, I would study in such a different way. But he said this, start now. Begin now. Let the past go. Leave that behind, regardless of what it is. Learn from that. Begin now. Begin now, dear young people. Start now. Start now.
Evo, to su, dragi prijatelji, neka važna iskustva.
Those are important experiences for me with Father Slavko. Also, there is a little story. It was in the national seminar. There were a few languages, and Father Slavko was balancing between all those languages, and I know that there was French language as well. There was a man who said, Father Slavko, I have a problem. When I'm fasting, then there is restlessness in my family. We argue. I'm nervous. We fight. And you say how fasting leads to peace. Would it be better for you if I don't fast and not be nervous that there is peace in my house? And Father Slavko responded to him, the best is for you to fast and not to be nervous. How am I going to do that? He said. Father Slavko said, if people were nervous in the world, only those people who were fasting, there will be little nervous amount of people who in the world. It's not fasting who causes you to be nervous, but the fasting is revealing the condition within you. And it invites you for you to seek for reasons of being nervous and of every other thing. I just want to share a few other things with Father Slavko. I think this was in 1996 in Vepric. Shrine close to Makarska. He was invited to go for a Holy Mass and to preach. It was on the feast of Immaculate Conception, 8th of December. It was late night. We were coming back. I was going with him. I was seeking for every opportunity to be with him because I experienced something important. And that experience for me was encouragement, always to be with that man because he was different. To go back for this retreat, for this seminar, when I told him, Father Slavko, okay, now I experienced how this seminar is really good, how fasting and prayer are really good, how I feel free from all of the problems. Okay, but what if sometimes something like this happens again to me? Some unclarity, if it happens again, what to do then? And then he responded, you had the experience and you saw that there is solution. And he stopped there, as if he expected, as if he was asking of me to continue and to come to the conclusion and to say. And then I said, okay, that means I should be fasting and praying. And he expanded his sense and he said, yes, that's it. You had the experience. You know that there is solution. Here you are the way. Go back to that anew. You will find solution there. That will take the fog away. To go back to Vepric, we came back there. That was in the old parish office in the attic. We called that manna. And we spoke with Franciscans then, what it was like. It was late night, around midnight, maybe even past midnight. Father Slavko got up and he was going to bed. It was a house where he stayed close. And he just slept there. He worked all the time and slept for a few hours only. So he got up and he went out. And I followed him. Okay, we should be going to bed. And I slept in that house as well. So I went out and then he went to the car. And I said, Father Slavko, where are you going? And he said, I didn't go today with Our Lady at none of the hills. So I'm going now. It was after midnight. And he said to me, go to sleep, and I'm going just to pray to Our Lady at the Apparition Hill. And then I'm walking towards the house and I'm thinking, my God, imagine at this time he's going to the Apparition Hill. It was winter time, it was cold. It was a strong north wind. He went to the hill. I'm thinking, if he can go, why cannot I go? And I was thinking of going to sleep, and he is going to pray. So I went back, and he just turned his car, and I was before him. He said, what's wrong? And I said, I'm going with you. And I felt that he was very happy. He never pushed anyone to go. He never said you should come. But he was very happy when he felt there is initiative, that someone wants to do something on his own. That is what Father Sanko is doing now with the young people from youth. Young people, be attentive there. It is one of his methods. It is a real method. He's not forcing you to do anything, that you have to do something. He doesn't want you to force. But he asks you to be responsible. That's what Father Slavko was doing. Father Slavko was saying that you do something yourself. You don't have to do that. I don't have to do that, but I want to do that. That's good. I want to do that. No one needs to say that to me. No one needs to force me about that. I want to do that. That's what I felt that Father Slavko was liked. And then we went with the car to the Operation Hill. We spoke there. We left the car. And we started going around the hill. And I wanted to ask him questions. And he said, that's it, stop. That's where our conversation stopped. Now the prayer began. No more talking. It is his time. The time that no one can take away from him. That is the message, dear friends, for each one of us. There is a time for God. Time for prayer. Do not allow anyone to take that time away from you. And there are many thieves today. Invisible, like TV, computer, mobile phones. Many other thieves. Thieves that steal away the time for God with you, that they might say that's important than the prayer. Let the prayer be the most important for you, and you say no. No, this now is the most important. What Father Ante was saying, I'm stepping back, I give room to God. That is prayer. That is where I acknowledge things. That is where I'm oriented in a new way. The clarity comes in my relationships. And Father Slavko has put on a hat on him. That we went in the silence. Every one of us, we came back. And that's where a friend felt great love he had towards Our Lady, towards gospel love. During the night he goes to her. Why? To pray for someone, to thank God for something. But it is love. I want. I love something. And when we come to the level of not being forced to do something, but when I desire something, that is the real then. That is when the prayer develops. When love comes. Out of love to God, I go to Holy Mass. Out of love, I read His Word. To read Him, to get to know Him like that. Out of love, I pray Rosary. Out of love, I go to Him to the Operation Hill. Out of love, I do this. Out of love, I do that. Another story for you, dear friends, regarding Mother's Village. When we went there, what he was building, he spoke to children. He said to the children, now we built this ambulance for teeth. This is where we will get teeth repaired. But in this teeth clinic, there are special laws, dear children. Special laws. What laws? They said. Okay, the first, we need to fix a tongue, not teeth, because if the tongue is not as it's supposed to be, then the tongue will make all of the teeth decayed. And the first thing that we need to fix is a tongue. The children smiled and they understood the message. So dear friends, there are many, many encounters with late Father Slavko, many important details, but I want to finish with a thought of late Father Slavko, and that is,
Sve što činiš,
everything you do, don't do it to be loved by people, to be appreciated by people, to be acknowledged and respected by people, that they may thank you. Because people, and not to love, not to thank, not to appreciate, and you will be disappointed. But everything you do, do it out of love towards people.
da,
What freedom,
ti donosi
what freedom this attitude brings you. Thank and do not ask to be thanked. Appreciate, do not ask to be appreciated. It is such a great freedom in that. So dear friends, thank you for your attention.